Okay, well, it's good to be back for part three, picking up security tools and spyware and adware. I just wanted to give some examples then on this slide. Norton Power Eraser or Norton or rather Super Anti-Spyware. These are examples of spyware removers. The Spy Bot Search and Destroy or Norton Power Eraser are also examples of adware removers that you might want to consider. Okay, so the term spam is an internet slang that refers to unsolicited commercial emails, sometimes called UCE, or unsolicited bulk emails, sometimes called UBE. So some people refer to this kind of communication as junk mail, right? Which equates it to the paper junk mail that comes through the U.S. mail quite often. So now that we have an understanding of spam, anti-spam. Anti-spam refers to the use of software, hardware, or other processes to block spam from entering the system. So an anti-spam software is going to use a set of protocols to determine what's unsolicited and unwanted and prevent those things from getting into your inbox. So some examples of that would be Spam Titan or Mail Washer or Zero Spam. Those are examples. Then we have web filtering. Web filtering is commonly referred to as a content control software. That's its other name equivalent. And this is a piece of software designed to restrict what websites a user can visit on his or her computer. That may sound like a negative thing, but it's not really. It's about safety and security and productivity. A web filter firewall is basically a software program that governs the data packets. So when we send data out or get data back in our computer, as we use applications and give inputs and collect others' outputs, right? Those are data packets traveling back and forth. So web filter firewall is basically going to govern the data packets that are sent and received by your computer. So it filters compromising content from websites that has been forbidden by the company policy, for example. And this will allow you to filter content to your requirements. So some examples of web filtering, Wefisy, W-E-F-I-S-Y, or PG Surfer. Those are good examples. Some other very large-scale ones would include Palo Alto as web filtering capability and firewalls. So the email in this scenario is an example of what we want to talk about is social engineering, right? A social engineering attack, which is sometimes referred to as an email hoax, right? So users should not follow the directions in an email that looks like a hoax, because the hoax is concealing its intentions, right? It looks like it's a reputable email, right? But as you look at it, you can usually see that it wants to urge you to do something, like it's a crisis, you must do this now, right? You want to avoid those kind of emails. You want to avoid clicking on links or opening attachments to any sender that you are not familiar with, right? And this is all part of social engineering. So social engineering attacks can be matched. There are a broad range of them, right? There's shoulder surfing, which is somebody that might come up behind you and be looking over your shoulder as you work. There's tailgating, which is following someone through the door so if I just unlock the door, and they look like they have a pass, but they're just going to follow me through it. That's tailgating. There's vishing, which is a special type of phishing that uses voice over IP. There's whaling, which is a special type of phishing that goes after a power user, like a big whale, like a CEO, and other and there's dumpster diving. So some of these attacks are computer generated, and some are in the physical environment. And this is an important concept in security. Remember that security isn't just about the tool; it's physical security, and it's process, people, and tool. Right. So oops, I jumped ahead a little bit. So this all relates to phishing, right? This social engineering creates a phishing. And so phishing is a cyber crime in which the target is contacted by email, by phone, by text message, by someone posing to be a legitimate person or a legitimate institution. They want to lure you into providing sensitive data such as personally identifiable information. We call that PII. Or banking information, or credit card details, or passwords. The information that they get then will be used to access important accounts and can result in identity theft and financial loss. So you want to avoid all this. If you don't recognize the sender, don't open it. If you are throwing away credit card statements, shred them, etc. Right? But from a phishing perspective online, you can use Smart Screen, which is a filter in Internet Explorer. It's called Phishing Filter in IE7 formally. And it warns you if certain websites appear to be stealing your personal information. Also, for the pop-ups and pop-up blockers, you might look to Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Firefox. They have the capability to block those. Now, file disk and system management, right? Well covered again in the literature. But a file manager is a software program that helps the user manage the files, right, on their computer. So, for example, all file managers allow the user to view, edit, copy, and delete files. Most of us use Windows Explorer or Explorer++ as examples of file managers. Then we have search capability. So the search box in File Explorer allows us to find and view all of your files and folders in one place. So as you type in a search box, the simple search, a simple search through your index begins to match your typed letters and file names and contents, which is really very, very convenient. Some examples of an image viewer on this slide would be Microsoft Photos or Picasa or Windows Photo Gallery. And some examples of uninstallers would be IOBit uninstaller or Wise Program uninstaller or even Geek uninstaller as examples. Now, sometimes we want to clean things up, right? I hope so. Disk cleanup is good to run if you're running out of space on your hard drive, for example. So just search for disk cleanup in Windows to open the program. You can, Google disk cleanup for instructions on how to clean up your system. And that should take you to a Microsoft.com site with their formal instructions if you have a Windows computer. And if you're running an MS Microsoft OS operating system. So the disk cleanup tool is included with Windows, which is nice, and it can quickly erase various system files and free up disk space. There are some things like Windows ESD installation files in Windows 10 that probably shouldn't be removed, so be careful. But for the most part, the items in disk cleanup are safe to take care of. Now, that leads me to fragmentation. So fragmentation refers to a condition on the disk, and you see it in the pictures here. See the disk, which would be your hard drive, in which files are divided into pieces and scattered around the disk. So as the OS finds free space, it's going to break up your data and put it in the space. But sometimes space gets separated from each other. So fragmentation will occur naturally when you use the disk space frequently. You're creating, you're deleting, you're modifying files, and at some point the operating system needs to store parts of the file in these non-contiguous areas, non-contiguous. So we want to do defragmentation. Defragmentation is the process of consolidating these fragmented files on the user's hard drive, right? The files become fragmented when the data is written to the disk, and there's not enough contiguous space to hold the complete file. So defragmentation is the opposite of fragmentation. Fragmentation is the inefficient use of computer storage. So we do this defragmentation. It's good to run if your computer is just starting to run slow or takes too long to boot up, etc. And some security programs will run defragmentation for you, which is useful. Okay, then we talk about compression tools in the literature. The book is very clear, so no need to go over it. But just some examples. WinZip, WinRAR, R-A-R, and 7-Zip are examples of file compression tools. So we want to check out your computer's, survivalist tools. You can right-click on the Start button. You can go to the Control Panel. You can select the Control Panel System and Security category, and then you can, the Control Panel's troubleshooting tools will appear there, okay, which are often handy for troubleshooting. On this slide, I wanted to mention that Acronis, TrueImage 2020, and AOMEI, Backupper, Standard 4. These are examples of backup tools and restore tools. Windows 10, you should know, also has a built-in backup and restore capability. And there's a website for free power management tool called www.spiceworks.com/free-pc-power-management-tool. You should go there to review that. Okay. So in summary, I think this was an excellent lesson. It's really a great foundation now to lead into the security lesson next week. I wish you all well. Thank you for your time. Appreciate all the hard work and dedication, and know that I'm available by email as you need. Thank you.